Hey y'all, so I'm back with another creepy story. I know I've been gone for a while, so y'all don't talk about me. Please don't talk about me. But like I said, I always say, life be lifing. Okay, so this creepy story is Chantel's story. Chantel said it was just her and her 9-year-old daughter at home. So Chantel said that she noticed like last month. She said like the first week of that month, her daughter came running up to her. And she said her daughter was like, ma'am. She was like, what? She said, you called me. She said, I didn't call you. She said, so, she was busy doing some work from at home. And so she said her daughter dismissed it. And so she said probably a couple of days later, her daughter came back again and said, ma'am. She was like, what? She said, you called me. She said, I didn't call you. So she was like, okay. So Chantel said she still didn't pay no attention. So she said the second week, her daughter came up to her and was like, ma'am. She said, now Chantel said she was in the kitchen. She said every time her daughter come up to her, she be on one side of the house and her daughter be on the other side of the house. So she was like, her daughter came up to her and was like, ma'am. She was like, what? She said, you called me. So she's like, I didn't call you. So she said a couple of days later, her daughter came up to her again. She was like, mama, ma'am. She's like, keep hearing you call my name. So Chantel says she stopped and she said, what do the voice sound like? She said, sound like you. She's like, really? She's like, yeah. She said, okay. So she was like, she said she was going to say something, but she didn't. She said, so she just told her, just ignore it. So the third week, she said her daughter came up to her. And she said her daughter had came up to her and said, she said she was in her bed this time. She said her daughter came running up to her. She was like, ma'am. She's like, what? She said, you called me. She said, what do the voice sound like? She said, it sound like you. She said, sound like me? She's like, yeah. She said, baby, I didn't call you. So she was like, that's strange because I hear you loud and clear. She was like, okay. So she said, don't answer it. She said, whatever you do, don't answer. So she's like, okay. So she said she was about to address it some more, but she got a phone call she'd been waiting on, an important phone call. So she said she told her daughter to leave and let her get the phone call. So she said a couple of days later, she said she was in the bed watching a movie. Her daughter was up front watching a movie. She said her daughter came running to her bedroom. She said she out of bed like... She said, what's wrong? She said her daughter just leaning back, looking out the hallway. So Chantel said she looking too like, who in the house? Because it's just you and me. And she said her daughter said, I heard you. She said, but this time you asked me a question. She said, I asked you a question? She's like, yeah. She said, what question did I hear? What did you hear? She said, you asked me, was I okay? She said, tell me everything you heard. She said, is it Iris? And she said, she looked up and she said, she heard her name. She said, are you okay? And she said, but it sounds just like you. So now she said her daughter's still looking out the door, scared. So now Chantel said she's scared too. So she looking out the damn door too, like, what the hell? She said Iris was looking at the door. I'm just spitting. She said Iris was looking at the door like somebody's supposed to be walking up down that damn hallway. So Chantel was like, hell no. So she said she jumped up. She had bought some anointed oil like couple years ago. And she said she never used it. So now Iris jumped up. She said, I'm sick of this. She said, no, ain't nothing going to be up in here tormenting you, calling your name. So she said she digging. She said she digging her junk drawer and she finally found the anointed oil. She said she found some scriptures. She put them together. And she told her daughter, she said, look, I need you to keep saying these scriptures over and over. Why? We're going to anoint this house down. We're going to put this oil on every window, every door, every doorway, every crack, the attic, everywhere. Anything, everywhere is an opening, we're going to put this oil on. So she said, she told Iris, I need you to go ahead and read it. So she said, Iris is a good reader, very good reader. She said, Iris had got so mad all of a sudden, like, why you want me to read this? She said, because I told you to read, and I read the damn thing. And she said, Iris, she was getting mad. She was frowning up. She's like, what's wrong with you, little girl? Because now you and me going to have some problems. And she was like, Iris, like, I don't want to read it. And she said, oh, you thought I gave you a choice. Ain't no choice in this matter. You're going to read it. So now read the damn passage. So she said, Iris got the phone, and because she put on her phone, she said Iris started reading. She said, my child act like she couldn't read. She said she would sound like she in damn kindergarten. she said she was tripping up over some of the words and stuff. And she said, what's wrong with you? And she said, read it right. So she said Iris just kept doing it. She said next thing you know, Iris just bust out crying, tears just rolling down. She's like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I don't know, but I don't want to read it. Iris said she grabbed that oil and she put a cross on her baby head. She said Iris started crying harder. She said, oh no. She said the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. She said she put like 3 crosses on her daughter's forehead. She said she laid hands on top of her head. She said she started praying over her daughter. She said, because we ain't having no spirit in here, no demon, no, we ain't having none of that shit. She said, if it's something on you, attached to you, we getting it off today. So she said she started praying over her daughter. And she said her daughter's just crying. And she said, okay, now I need you to read it again. She said her daughter read it the 3rd time. She said it was better than the first 2 times. Her daughter started getting the words out. She said, now I need you to keep repeating this over and over and over until we finish blessing this house from top to bottom, end to end. So she said her daughter's voice started getting stronger, started getting louder. She said, that's what I'm talking about right there. So she said they went from the garage all the way to the other side of their house. And she said while they was in the middle of the house, they got to the middle of the house, one of her sons came in. He don't stay there, but she said he happened to come over, just check on them and stuff. He said, what y'all doing? God damn it. Anyway, so she told him what happened. He was like, what? Give me some of that oil. So she said her son had got some of that oil too. And she sent him a copy of what to say on his phone. So he went to the room as well. And he started praying, saying the same thing. And she said that they did the whole house. And so she said probably like 2 days later, no, she said the next day, she said Iris came running in her room to my ma'am. She said, what? She said, you called me. Now Chantel said, oh no, the hell. Hell no, we ain't go through all this for nothing. So she said she jumped back up and she told her baby girl, come here, let me put her in prayer here on you again. She said she prayed over her daughter again, put the little cross. She said her baby forehead was greasy as hell, but she didn't care. She put that little cross on her head and she said she went back and she asked her daughter, where did you hear the voice? She said, in the hallway. She said, oh, you did? She's like, yeah. She said she went in that hallway, anointed that hallway. She went and anointed everything again. And so after that, she said her daughter didn't hear nothing else. She said everything was just cool. So she was like, yeah. She said they ain't had no problem after that. And she was like, she don't like when kids be like, they hear stuff or they got imaginary friends. She said, I don't play that. She said, so no. She said she ain't play that with her oldest kids. And she wasn't about to start with this youngest one. So she said after she prayed over her baby and she anointed that house, everything's peaceful now. Baby don't hear nothing else. And so she said everybody sleep peacefully. So yeah, so that is Chantel's story. So I hope y'all like it. Bye.